Hey Taurus, this is for those of you actually that are watching for Taurus that are a divine masculine. So they could be a sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, or Venus sign, but they are the divine masculine energy in a sacred connection, twin flame connection, twin souls, whatever you want to call it, okay? We're going to dive in to kind of see what's happening for them right now in this collective. And then we will get to an extended version, which talks about 3 specific things that are going to come up for them within the next 3 weeks. So, as well as messages from their higher self to those that are watching. So I do tend to read for the Divine Feminine. It is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Let's get right into it. Let's see. What is going on with these masculines that are identify as Taurus, but they also identify as the predominant masculine energy. Okay. Okay, so we have responsibility, high priest, high priestess. Okay, so I feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up around their responsibility, taking responsibility for themselves, taking responsibility for their situation. Let's see, yeah, very interesting. Lots of passion here. Okay, let's just see what else we got. Okay, security. Okay, they could be struggling with their security, either their own, feeling insecure or their own financial security. Okay, we have autumn. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. This is a new deck, but these watchtowers have a very specific message. So autumn is sort of it's before winter, but I just want to see. Watchtower of the West. The West brings the water, so it may impart connection and healing and open your heart. Autumn reflects all that's to reveal. Cast magic at dusk for emotions to heal. This magic is worked, the harm to none. So mote it be, there it is done. So I feel like this kind of tells me that there's a lot of emotional turbulence in their life right now. And they're struggling to feel secure, whether it be financial or physical. I feel like it is mostly because they feel so vulnerable. They're going to have to take the summer. I feel like this is in the fall is when they're going to feel more stable within themselves. It may not take that long time as fluid. Don't take that as a literal date. But I do feel like there's some emotional healing around here. There's emotional, like when I saw security, it was less about the home security. It was more about the emotional security and feeling secure in who they are. Okay, so they're struggling a bit with that right now, but I feel like it's coming up. So we'll pull more cards on each of these too, guys, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, the moon, yeah, cycles. Okay, this too shall pass is what I heard. And then homecoming. Okay, so understanding that all of these things need to happen for them to come home. They have to come home to themselves first, and then they can come home to their divine feminine, okay? And yes, there are some cases where the divine feminine is going to help them come home to themselves, but they have to be aware that that's a necessity in order for the divine feminine to help them with that. So let's kind of see. Let's see what else is happening with them. Let's go into this responsibility piece. Okay, let's go into this responsibility piece here. So we have the Queen of Swords, okay, the 8 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, okay. All right, so we have the Empress on the bottom, okay. So it's very interesting. I'm getting some interesting energy with this, so just be mindful. Some divine feminines, the Empress, the physical divine feminine, okay, are putting a lot of responsibility on their masculines, and they're feeling that, okay? That's not for all. That's a very small group because it just came in kind of at the end. I don't know if you see the little spider crawling around. Anyways, all over my witches decks. Anyone know what a spider means? I'll have to look that up. Okay. All right, but the first one that came out was the Queen of Swords. Okay, so this is very much a very cold-hearted energy. So they could be dealing with somebody that's cold-hearted and not their feminine. Yes, their feminine may have cut them off at some point, and they could have been viewed as cold, okay, because that feminine, divine feminine, is putting responsibility on the masculine to make them happy, okay? But they feel like it's a very interesting, because we have the Eight of Pentacles here, so we have some work, some refinement, some work that needs to be, I think they realize that they need to do some work on themselves, okay? And what I'm getting more from this Queen of Swords with this other group that isn't, you know, I feel like they're putting a lot of responsibility on their divine feminine, okay? Because any other experience with women in their lives, their mom, okay? There's a lot of emotional trauma here, okay? So they're putting a lot of responsibility on their feminine to heal them, to help them, to make them feel better, okay? So there's some fear here, okay? There's some fear. We've got the Nine of Swords, okay? Then we have the Knight of Swords, but there's some truth bomb energy around that. Understanding, okay, that it's their responsibility, and that scares the crap out of them because they've never felt empowered to actually heal themselves. And then we have the Two of Wands, okay? So wanting to act on a decision, but being unable to because of past things in the past, fearing that that stuff is going to come out again in the future. Okay, so that's kind of the responsibility piece. Let's take a look at the security. Okay. Yeah, there's some fear around the truth for them. Okay, because, and part of them, and this isn't going to be for everyone, but it's to understand they're very much aware of their wounds, but their wounds also create, so I'm just going to move this a little bit. Their wounds, okay, also create an opportunity to escape those responsibilities. So, you know, my mom did this to me, so it's an excuse for me to be this way, right? So I feel like they're being shown that that can't be the way anymore, and it's kind of scary, okay? It's kind of scary, and they're being shown that you can't bring that into this future, right? You have to take responsibility for your feelings. Okay. Okay, so we have the Hanged Man here, okay? They're kind of being held up, all right? They're kind of being held up. But it's almost like their soul self, their higher self, is keeping them in that place. Yeah, because we have the Four of Cups, okay? They're being made to sit in the uncomfortable, in the lack of confidence, okay? They're being made to sit there because it's only when we sit in those energies that we force ourselves out. Okay. The Ace of Swords, okay? An opportunity to see things in a new way, to think about things in a new way. Whoa. The Chariot, okay? Because yes, this is definitely all about power, because when I see the Chariot is a very forceful, determined energy, and it wants to move. But if the masculine, okay, if he's not driving this Chariot, someone else is directing him. So the wounds of his mother, the wounds of his childhood, they're directing his Chariot right now. So he's being made to sit in the yuck and realize, I can't keep in this energy. I can't keep doing this. I have to see things. It's being shown to him. He's being shown that he gets to be behind this driver's seat, that he's entitled to that, okay? That's going to bolster his security of self. Okay. Oh. Yeah, okay, that's what's kind of holding back this new beginning. It's going to say, I feel like it's going to be very clear, it's going to be very direct. If you want a new future, you can't recreate the past. You have to be new. You want change, you have to change, right? So just know that that's very much being shown right now, okay? So let's take a look at cycles, because I feel, yes, this too shall pass, but I feel like it comes in phases or in waves for him or her. There's no gender, but the divine masculine energy, okay? Each wave is more powerful and more understanding. Yeah, the Five of Wands, okay? Inner conflict. It's sort of like what I'm seeing, because the waves came up to me, right? So the waves are showing up. So what I'm seeing is how waves slowly erode at a rock. That's very slow energy. This is not slow energy, okay? Just so you know, it's not going to take thousands of years to get into this place. But every time the wave comes, it erodes a little bit more away, and then it releases and dissipates. And then it comes, and then it breaks things down, and it dissipates, right? Until there's nothing left to break down but this new beginning. So I feel like the cycles, and I'm also being guided to note that the moon has been very interesting. Okay, the Five of Swords in reverse. Okay, wanting a quick fix is what I got, which is normally the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, but the Five of Swords is sort of hollow victories. You know, winning small things to make yourself feel better, band-aiding certain things, okay? Sort of like how people eat their feelings, right? It quiets the chaos for a bit, or they, you know, they drink or they do drugs or whatever because it quiets, yeah. Five of Cups, lots of fives, 3 fives. Freedom through change, okay? Whoa, 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 look at that. The Wheel of Fortune, and then the Lovers. Okay, so this tells me, okay, that this is happening in cycles, but the Five of Cups is about crying over spilled milk. It's about crying over things in the past. Look at that. We have the Death card on the bottom, but these things have to come to an end before the wheel can turn, okay? But there has to be an acknowledgement. There has to be an understanding of that, and it's going to come in phases for them. It's not going to be all at once. But just know that that's exactly what it needs to be in order for it to have a long-lasting effect for them. Okay, some people can do it all in one shot. Some people can do it, you know, in an intense manner. But that is not the energy of this group of masculines, okay? And it's maybe because they're Taurus, they are a little more steadfast, okay? They need to have it done in a different way, okay, in order for it to sink in. All right, let's see. Okay. So we have friendship. We also have a 22. So energy of friendship supports our intrinsic desire for connection with others based on mutual affection and appreciation. I feel like for a lot of you, friendship is going to be what's needed. And I know that's very difficult when you have a deep connection like this, because there's always that passion and sensuality between the two of you. But I feel like honestly, they're not even a friend to themselves. And that kind of breaks my heart a little bit. But know that that's coming to them. It's being shown to them. It's every phase, there's something new that gets uncovered. And, you know, it's going to be heavy for them needing to take responsibility for those feelings. But they can do it. They were built to do that. They signed up for this. So I feel like the two of you may be friends at first. Okay, and understanding and knowing that they'll be okay with it. But the part of that friendship, okay, there needs to be healthy boundaries with that, okay? So we have authenticity. So the energy of authenticity supports our choice to be genuine and truthful in all aspects of our lives with others as well as ourselves. And then we have commitment on the bottom here, okay? So I feel like they're not able to be authentic right now because they're feeling very scared and insecure. So if you can sit in a seat of seeing this part of them, and I'm not saying you have to put up with any kind of mistreatment or whatever, but if you can be empathetic and understand kind of where they're at, and understand that they're working through their wounds and they're not ready to be completely vulnerable yet. If you can take the responsibility of that from yourself, know that it's not about you or there's anything wrong with you or they don't care or love you, and just know that it's going to get ugly before it gets pretty. But there's hope here, okay, because they're being shown, and there is shifting change. We have the Fool, we have the Ace of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune, okay? These are all new beginnings. But we got to get through the other stuff. We got to unpack our bags and leave it behind if we want to move forward, right? So I hope that this has helped. The extended version is going to talk about the next 3 weeks for these divine masculines, as well as messages from their higher self. Be your peace, love yourself, share your light, and have an amazing day.